The first note fell into the station like a secret dropped from the sky, soft but sharp enough to cut through the noise, and if you've ever had a song stop you mid-step and pull you backward through time, then stay with me, because what happened next changed 3 lives forever. Before the melody even finished its first phrase, the woman in the tailored coat froze where she stood, her phone slipping from her hand, her breath catching as if the air itself had turned solid around her. If stories about second chances, quiet courage, and love that refuses to die mean something to you, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and listen closely, because this isn't just a story, it's a reminder that the past never truly lets go, and sometimes that's exactly what saves us. Ethan Hale played the piano the way tired people pray. Not loudly. Not to impress. He played as if each key carried a memory he was afraid to lose. The old upright piano sat near the corner of the Grand train station, scuffed and slightly out of tune, a public instrument most people ignored. Ethan didn't mind. He played there every evening after his shift at the warehouse, his jacket folded beside him, his worn fingers moving with a gentleness that surprised those who bothered to stop. A small open case rested near the pedals, but he wasn't really playing for coins. He was playing for Lily, his 6-year-old daughter, who sat on a bench nearby swinging her legs, homework done, eyes shining every time her father smiled at her mid-melody. Life hadn't gone the way Ethan once imagined. His wife had died suddenly 3 years earlier, leaving him with grief that came in waves and bills that never stopped arriving. He'd sold his car, downsized his dreams, and learned how to braid hair while cooking dinner and answering math questions. The piano was the one thing he hadn't let go of, because it was the one thing that made Lily laugh and helped him remember who he used to be before survival became his only plan. That evening, as the station lights warmed and the rush slowed, Ethan began a melody he rarely played in public. It started simply, almost shy, then unfolded into something aching and hopeful at the same time. Lily recognized it instantly. That one, she whispered to herself. The special one. It was the song Ethan had written years ago, long before Lily was born, long before loss had hollowed him out. He'd written it for a woman he'd loved with his whole heart, a woman he believed he would marry, until life took a sharp turn and separated them without warning or explanation. Across the marble floor, Victoria Lane stepped out of a black car and into the station with her usual controlled grace. She was the CEO of a multinational tech firm, known for her precision, her steel resolve, and her carefully guarded privacy. Assistants hovered behind her, schedules in hand, but the moment the melody reached her ears, the world narrowed to a single sound. Her heart slammed against her ribs as recognition washed over her like a tide she'd been holding back for years. No one else knew that song. No recording existed. No sheet music had ever been published. It had been written for her, in a tiny apartment filled with laughter and cheap takeout, by a man who believed in her when she was still doubting herself. Victoria's chest tightened. That song had been her anchor during the hardest time of her life, before ambition hardened into armor. She'd lost it when she lost him, or so she thought. Her team spoke, but their voices sounded far away. Victoria moved without thinking, drawn toward the piano as if by gravity. Each step closer peeled back layers she'd spent years constructing. She saw the man at the keys before she truly believed it was him. The curve of his shoulders, the way his head tilted slightly on the softer passages, it was impossible. And yet there he was, older, thinner, marked by life, but unmistakably Ethan. Ethan finished the song with a lingering chord that trembled in the air. The station seemed to exhale. He opened his eyes and saw her standing there, tears streaking her face, elegance forgotten. For a heartbeat, neither of them moved. Years of silence stretched between them, filled with misunderstandings, regrets, and words never spoken. Ethan, Victoria whispered, her voice breaking. He stood so fast the bench scraped loudly. For a moment, panic flashed through his eyes, fear of ghosts, of reopening wounds, but Lily slid off her bench and grabbed his hand, grounding him. "Daddy," she asked softly. Victoria noticed the child then, and the sight hit her harder than the song. A realization dawned, followed by a complex mix of emotions she didn't try to hide. I heard the music," she said, as if that explained everything. "I never thought I'd hear it again. I didn't think anyone remembered," Ethan replied. His voice was steady, but his hands shook. They talked there in the open station, words tumbling out awkwardly at first, then more freely as the truth emerged. Victoria explained how her sudden move overseas years ago hadn't been her choice, how her father's illness and corporate pressure had forced her silence. Ethan shared how he'd waited, how the letter he wrote had never been answered, how life had kept moving even when his heart hadn't. Challenges surfaced quickly, as they always do when reality intrudes on reunion. Victoria's life was scheduled to the minute, her world unforgiving. Ethan's responsibilities were heavy, his finances fragile. Lily listened quietly, perceptive beyond her years, sensing the importance of the moment.